shall talk to Doric.
Greetings, young apprentice. Have you come seeking knowledge of the past? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it, or so they say. As a chronicler of the Academy here on Dantooine, I feel it is my duty to share the history of our order with the newly initiated. Unfortunately, our recent history is one of tragedy and bloodshed. The Mandalorian Wars, the fall of Revan and Malak, the rise of the Sith. There are important lessons to be learned from these events, if we do not wish to repeat the mistakes of our past.
I am eager to learn.
Of course, I could not tell you the entire history of our order. The Jedi have existed for thousands upon thousands of years. We are as old as the Republic itself. Instead, I will begin 40 years ago with the War of Exar Kun. Like Malak and Revan, Exar Kun was a Jedi who fell to the dark side and led an army against the Jedi and the Republic. Exar Kun was defeated, but the war left both the Republic and our own order severely weakened. For 20 years we struggled to rebuild, trying to erase the scars of the terrible conflict.
Okay. What does this have to do with Revan and Malak?
All things in time.
Oops, sorry.
You shall learn that history is an intricate weaving of many events. No one thing can be understood without the proper context.
Doesn't stop people trying.
20 years ago, the Mandalorians, aware that the Republic was in a weakened state, began conquering small worlds on the Outer Rim. They were careful to choose only planets outside the Republic's jurisdiction. After much debate, the Senate chose not to intervene. As long as the Mandalorians avoided planets that were members of the Republic itself, there would be no retaliation.
Sounded like a mistake. They should have protected them.
Well, you can hardly blame the Republic. The memory of war was fresh in everyone's mind. Nobody was eager to relive the horrors in a campaign against the Mandalorians. But in the end, it was unavoidable.
It was World War II.
The Mandalorians stockpiled resources from their conquered worlds, preparing for a massive assault. 7 years ago, they launched a simultaneous attack in 3 separate sectors of Republic space. The Senate had no choice but to retaliate with the entire Republic fleet. The Mandalorian Wars had begun.
Did the Jedi join in? No, we know this.
The Republic petitioned the Jedi Council for aid, but there were many factors to consider before we allowed ourselves to be drawn into another conflict, so soon after the war with Exar Kun. While the Jedi Council preached patience, there were many among our order who were eager for us to join the battle. 2 young knights in particular demanded immediate action, Revan and Malak. They rallied many of the Jedi to their cause, and against the wishes of their masters, joined the Republic fleet battling the Mandalorians. Revan was a brilliant military leader, and the Republic fleet began to win victory after victory. 4 years ago, the Mandalorians surrendered unconditionally.
Revan did the right thing. Hindsight is wonky. How did he fall to the dark side?
Revan and Malak were heroes, the great saviors of the Republic. A third of the Republic fleet was under their direct command. And then something happened. Instead of returning after the war's end, the ships under Revan's command went deep into unexplored space. They claimed to be searching for the last remnants of the Mandalorian fleet. All contact was lost. For many months, it was assumed some great disaster had befallen the entire fleet. Everyone thought they were dead. There were unsubstantiated rumors of Revan and Malak being seen on a number of different planets during these months. Scattered sightings that were never confirmed.
Well, where did they disappear to?
Perhaps they simply went far beyond the edges of Republic space. Maybe they found previously undiscovered hyperspace routes to the ends of the galaxy. Nobody knows for certain. 3 years ago, Revan and Malak returned at the head of a massive invasion fleet. Revan had assumed the title of Sith Lord. The hero had become a conqueror.
A Caesar, if you will. How did he get so many followers?
Initially, the bulk of the Sith force were former Republic soldiers who had served under Revan. With each conquest, thousands more flocked to join the invaders, swelling their numbers. Even many of our own order have betrayed us, lured by Sith promises of riches and power. But what is more disturbing is the size of the Sith fleet itself. Some of the ships in the Sith fleet are those that were under Revan's command during the Mandalorian Wars, but many more are of an alien design we've never seen before. The source of this massive fleet is one of the many things about the Sith we cannot explain. It seems impossible to have created it in such a short time, yet we cannot deny its existence.
What happened next then?
For 2 years, the Sith were all but invincible. Fortunately, Bastila and her battle meditation allowed the Republic to win a few key victories and kept the Sith from total triumph. In desperation, we set a trap for the Dark Lord. Bastila was with the strike team that tried to capture Revan, as you probably know. She was there at Revan's end. That was nearly a year ago, but things have not improved.
That's how I'd calculated it.
Malak has stepped in and assumed the mantle of Dark Lord for himself, though he's far from Revan's equal in strategy or tactics. Still, his fleet continues to grow in both ships and soldiers. If we do not find some way to stop the Sith soon, Malak will overwhelm us with sheer numbers.
Okay, so there's 12... So that's a year. Assuming that this is a year, as in Earth year for us, just like they're speaking in English, although they wouldn't be speaking in English. That's 12 months. We've been here for a few weeks, for several weeks doing our training. So you'd suspect it's maybe a month or two, so you get to 10. Take off another month for time on Taris, it's 9 months. I don't know. I'm trying to brain things, but I don't understand the science. So, the science of the Force when it comes to this kind of stuff. So you don't know how long things are going to take or what's exactly happening. Right, what can I learn from Revan's history?
Revan's tale shows us how even the greatest of Jedi can fall to the dark side. You must always be on guard against the evil that dwells within you. Think hard upon this lesson.
That's interesting. Does he mean you in general, or you as in me particularly? I'll think on this, Master Dorak.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you. Right, I haven't done my training apparently. Let's train. How do I train? Training computer, maybe? Sure, what do you say?
Greetings, my young pupil. Your progress has been most remarkable so far. Are you here to continue your training in the ways of the Jedi?
I have some questions.
Few mention those names around. When I was still on
I've already
course,
done this.
Revan and Malak off, but
Right, I should be going now.
you have learned much. Yet, when you feel that you are...
I've already asked that. I've just asked that before I wandered off.
Greetings, my young pupil. Your progress has been most remarkable so far. Are you here to continue your training in the ways of the Jedi?
Yes, I'm ready to continue my training.
Soon your apprenticeship will end, and you will be granted the title of Padawan, the lowest rank of those within the Jedi Order. Yet first you must prove yourself worthy in the traditions and customs of our Order, as handed down from master to pupil for 1,000 generations. You must successfully complete 3 tests before you earn your place among the Jedi.
Right. I'm ready for these tests, Master Shah.
These tests will see if you have truly mastered the training you have been given, both mental and physical. Upon completing these tests, you will pass from apprentice to Padawan, and join in the ranks of the Jedi. First, I will test your knowledge of the Jedi Code. These tenets must always guide your actions. In everything you do, you must always be conscious of their wisdom. You must prove you have a Jedi's understanding of the Code. Return when you feel you are ready for this challenge.
Okay, what do I do for that then? Let's just try asking, see what happens.
Greetings, my young pupil. Your progress...
Right, continue training.
Soon your apprentice... In the tradition...
Ready for the tests.
These tests will... First, I will test your knowledge of the Jedi Code. These tenets must always guide your actions. In everything you do, you must always be conscious of their wisdom. You must now prove you have a Jedi's understanding of the Code by completing these fundamental precepts of our Order. There is no emotion.
There is peace.
There is no ignorance.
There is knowledge.
There is no passion.
Oh dear. There is. I think that's what peace is. Oops. There is peace.
That is not correct. There is no shame in
Oh,
admitting weakness.
okay.
Return when you...
So it's. I assume he'll say it at each step. Is it? Maybe not. Maybe try a different one on the first one then. Let's have a look.
Greetings, my...
Oh my goodness.
Soon...
I just want to do the first test.
First, you must now... There is no emotion.
Harmony.
That is not correct. There is...
Oh, so he says it at each step. Okay.
Greeting.
Training.
These...
So it was
you must-
peace then. There is peace.
There is no ignorance.
There is knowledge. You kind of want the opposite.
There is no passion.
Oh, is that the force?
That is not. There is
Boo.
return.
Boo. No, I'm going to keep trying.
Greeting.
I'm going to brute force
In the
this. Like a
These... First, you must...
peace.
There is...
No ignorance. Knowledge.
There is no passion.
No passion. So it's not force or peace. Serenity.
There is no chaos.
There is harmony.
There is no death.
There is the force.
You have learned your studies well, apprentice. It will not be long before you are a full member of our order. But first, you must pass the second test and learn about the most prized possession of a Jedi. The very symbol of our order, the lightsaber. The lightsaber is the traditional weapon of our order. It is a symbol of a Jedi's skill, dedication, and authority. And each lightsaber is as individual as the Jedi who wields it. The blade is made of pure energy, focused by polished crystals in the hilt. As the second test, each Jedi must construct his lightsaber with his own hands. And now it is your time. Speak with Master Dorak, and he will guide you through the choosing of a crystal.
To Master Dorak. Charge. So Master Dorak is the archivist.
Ah, you have come, young apprentice, at Master Zar's bidding. He sees great promise in you, as do I. The time has come for you to choose the color of your lightsaber. This color also reflects your demeanor and position within the order.
Okay. Why do I get stuck with a single color? What positions are there?
Blue is the color of the Jedi Guardian. This Jedi battles against the forces of evil and the dark side. They focus more on combat training and use of the lightsaber. Yellow is the color of the Jedi Sentinel. This Jedi ferrets out deceit and injustice, bringing it to light. They focus less on combat and more on other skills and abilities. Green is the color of the Jedi Consular. This Jedi seeks to bring balance to the universe. They mediate between other groups, using their powers to end conflict and preserve peace.
Right, so we've got the Guardian, who's more combat-y focused, with a delightful blue. We have Sentinel, who fights injustice with more non-combat-y. So I'd like to have a kind of touch of these, because you've only got that one. So you've got the Jedi Consular, who wants to bring balance, he wants to mediate, so he's probably more of a social fellow. Right, what would Tail do? So he's in theory a scout. I assume this is going to be my class now, and then I'll be using all my points for these. So the Guardian's more combat-y, which is kind of the way he was almost going anyway. But I mean, if I'm going to be using Bastila primarily as one of my other characters, then that's my kind of... Oh, she's a Sentinel though, isn't she? So she's kind of meant to be more non-combative, but she's very strong in the combat. Maybe that's just because she just had a lightsaber. I don't know. So the question is then, if I want to go, do I want to go something different to Bastila, or do I want to stick with Sentinel myself? Because I don't think... I'm trying to think how this would work. I would guess that the Consular is kind of in between. But I think... So bring balance, fight injustice, or so ferret out. So it was fight the dark side for the Guardian. The Sentinel was ferret out deceit and injustice, which does sound quite cool. And Consular is bringing balance. So I don't think I want to be the Guardian. I want a red lightsaber. That's the lightsaber of the Sith, Dragonster. But red is the best colour. End conflict and preserve peace. I am rather opposed to... I'm very kind of non-confrontational normally. I think it's part of the reason why teacher training really messed with my head. I need to think through this. So the consular's more social. I've been doing persuading a lot, so maybe that, but... I do like the idea that, you know, if I'm going to be trained by Vasta, it makes sense to have the same style, inverted commas, as her. I think kind of ferreting out injustice and fighting injustice probably makes sense from what he said.
Indeed. We shall see. I will now ask you questions, and your responses will indicate which class you lean most towards.
Oh.
A woman and her small child are beset by a desperate-looking group of thugs. They're menacing her with weapons, and she screams to you for help. What do you do?
I feel really bad for... I feel really bad for having to spend a bit of time trying to think through what I was going to be. So attack the thugs, help them flee. Like, why am I attacking the thugs? To help them flee, aren't I? Stop the thugs and find out why they're attacking her. No, help them flee.
Indeed. Very well. On to the next question. You are in combat with a dark Jedi allied with the Sith. There is a pause in the combat. What do you do?
Attack him again, find out why he turned to the dark side and try to turn him. Try to see weakness in his technique. Find out why he turned to the dark side and try to turn him back.
Yes, I suspected as much. Now for the next question. There is a locked door, and your goal lies on the other side. What do you do?
Is that another... Should I be putting that in another evidence thing? Revan became a dark Jedi, moved to being a Sith, and now has a chance. I don't know. Lock door, and you go on the other side. Smash the door down. Well, that's what I would. That's what I did in Davik's house. Try to pick the lock. I did that early on, or knock. I did that as well at Davik's, I think. Ooh, what would you do, Tail? You haven't not really built up your security, but I think you'd prefer that to smashing down. Would you knock? Pick the lock, I think. No. Yeah, pick the lock, I think.
I am beginning to see a pattern here, apprentice. I have a feeling about what you would be best at. But first, the final question. You are the head of an enclave on a contested world. The Dark Jedi have infiltrated and are causing unrest across the planet. What do you do?
This is the fourth question. You should have 5. Like, if you have 3 questions, it's possible all 3 get 1. Right, so you can't do it with 2, because you may end up with a 1-1-0 tie. You don't want to do 1, because then it's just going to be... You've got to make it really obvious. You're not going to do 3, because then it's a 1-1-1 tie. If you do 4, it's a 2-2-0 tie. If you do 5, you can... Well, you could get a 2-2-1 tie, actually. 7? 7, yes. 7 is how you'd have to do it, because then you couldn't get a tie for the first position, right? Try to lure them into a trap, hunt them down, coordinate with the planetary government to identify the infiltrators. I think try and trap them. It depends, like, try and trick them. That's probably what that more is.
Yes, I thought as much.
I think
as I suspected, you would be most suitable as a Jedi Sentinel.
Yeah, I thought
Which
from what I
color and path do you believe yourself most suited to, apprentice?
Yeah, so I said Sentinel to begin with. I got Sentinel in the question. So I'm guessing that's more kind of how do you want to play this character? Which is a weird thing to do, however many hours we're into this. What playstyle would you like? Which I suppose is the point of having you play the game and and then pick your class. Actually, that's a really cool idea, because you're probably going to play a variety of the three different people because that's going to be what you're going to do. And then at this point you go, actually, this is the style I want to be. So yeah, we'll go with Sentinel.
Here is a yellow crystal for your lightsaber. Go speak to Master Jar again, and he will instruct you in how to construct it.